it's like that's the kind of people I want to be around, you know, because those are the people that have been enlightened to something more than just dampening their everything with substance, you know, and not good substance, you know. I think my favorite thing that I've seen on Lilo and Stitch is Pleakley's like, oh, let's go to Earth. They go down there and they celebrate with celebratory poison. And I'm just like, that is so true.
Out west where the sun always beams bright, Midland skies keep the hustle in sight. BAM Consultants got the blueprint intact. For dreamers on the grind, they got your back. Championing dreams from the ground to supreme, providing that spark, igniting the team. Marketing flow strategies that gleam. BAM in Midland, building your dream. They teach the
Bam! All right, here we have Miss Jacee Harvey. Did I say that right? Mm-hmm. All right. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. So we're going to talk about a lot of things today, right? So you're the owner of Wendy Productions. You're a singer-songwriter in Pump Handle Vandals.
Yep.
Right? And you're also on the board for Straight Line Foundation, nonprofit, right? So we're going to get to all of that today, right? I anticipate a pretty cool conversation here. So, but first off, you have an event coming up. Okay, and it's through Straight Line Foundation.
It's a benefit for the Straight Line Foundation. It's a benefit festival, so we'll have bands out there, vendors. It's family friendly. Bring your kids. We're gonna have a jumper. It's just gonna be a fun time. Just no alcohol, so you don't have to worry about that. I know that's a lot on some people's plates, but for it being for the Straight Line Foundation, that's the way that we can be able to have our house people come to the event.
Right. And it's called the Boys Are Back Fest. Right. So it's second annual.
Yes.
The first one was at Pachuco's.
It was.
Right. So super cool. You guys have expanded. So where's this one going to be at?
This one's going to be just right down the street from Pachuco's. It's going to be at 404 North Colorado is the actual address, but that's where they hold the Midland Downtown's Farmers Market. And we've been really lucky to work with Miss Barbara Cox, who is the lady that runs the farmers market down there. She's been such a big help with us. And so that's a really fun partner that we've gotten to partner with. And yeah, it's just going to be a fun time.
Yeah. So what's the date again?
It's going to be May 30th.
May 30th.
The event starts at 3:00 and will go till about 10:00 when Rich is done singing. Which is our headliner, Rich O'Toole.
Headlining.
Yes.
All right. So, and how many bands are?
So there's going to be 4 total bands. We have the West Wind Band, which has Sarah Guzman Melendez in it. And she is just a huge Tejano singer around here. She's become one of my best friends. The second band is going to be, of course, Pump Handle Vandals. And we're coming out with a live album this year. We're going to be recording our second take the 22nd of this month, actually, at Double Bar. And then the third band is going to be Jerry Hart and the Flatland, and they've become really great friends. And they have some live music out as well that's already recorded if you look them up. And then our headliner is Rich O'Toole, and he currently lives in like Fredericksburg area over there. Okay. Yeah. And I've always been a super big fan, but one thing that's really caught me is over the last year he's become sober, and he's took a step back from music, not knowing how he would be able to move on because that's a lot of the culture. You know, drinking and live music. And so he's just been sharing his story everywhere, and how it's been. And he's come back into music and is going to be doing full bands. And I think we are the first full band show for him in this area between like Lubbock, San Angelo, this year. So that'll be really cool to see him. And he just released a new album as well and just came out with another single that came out May 8th. That's called, I think it's like, We're Both Wrong. I'm pretty sure. I'm like, I can never remember anything, but
that sounds like a good title.
Yes, exactly.
You know, I write that synchronicity, and we'll get to talk about your foundation and why this, I think, it lines up so well, right, with your foundation serves.
Yes.
You know, if him going sober, and you're right, you know, because in the music industry, right, it's
yes,
right, it's in a spirit to where creatives is just because we're looking for that something else.
Yep.
Always chasing that dragon, always, no matter what. Because so when you're sober, you know, when you're growing up in the music, it's just there. It just becomes part of it. You know, almost like it's there's the music, then why not? You know, it's very hard to stay away from it.
Yes.
But once you dive in, it's very hard to get out of it. So for somebody to have gone deep and then gotten out and then to continue that road, man, kudos to much respect to Mr. O'Toole, because it's a struggle, and you yourself, you had walked that. You're walking that right now.
I am.
You know.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about the Straight Line Foundation.
Okay. The Straight Line Foundation is a group of sober living homes. We started about 6 years ago in Odessa. We had 5 homes over there. 4 were men's and 1 was women's. And last year, our event was actually to push us into Midland, to grow us into Midland. And so over the last year, we have sold one of the homes that really have a lot of work done. So we went ahead and sold it in Odessa and purchased another home in Midland. So we did what we needed to do over this last year. And it's going to be a men's home, and it opened April 20th. And so that was pretty cool to get to move into there. But at capacity, we can house, I think, 36 people. And we have 1 woman's home and 4 men's home. And so that's just really a cool thing. But having the no alcohol at the event, like I said earlier, it allows us to bring our people that are in home out.
Yeah.
So that's been one of the biggest things on really trying to find a venue here where it's okay that we're not going to be serving alcohol.
True.
So, but it was a good thing with the city, because they were like, that's great for us, because, you know, alcohol, it can get messy. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't understand that. And that's okay. You can drink if you want to, you know. I'm not downing you, but some people they would be better sober, to be honest with you. Agreed.
Yeah. You know, for sure. You know, we talk about that all day long, right? Of how it the worst of people.
That's definitely why I had to stop, because I was pregnant. I didn't drink, and I got done being pregnant and had my daughter, and then I did drink some, and I was like, there's just so much of me that wasn't me anymore that was coming out when I was drinking. And so then I would only take a shot when we would play a show, and that's all just at first. And I was just like, why am I even doing that? Because really all it's doing is reading my witness, because I don't drink that much. But if I'm drinking, then somebody would be like, oh, she still drinks. And so August 20th of last year, that was the last time I drank, and I haven't drank. And I've had one time when I really wanted to drink. It was like in December, and I go through a bad breakup. But all my friends, like, I don't know if I could get served alcohol in this city, because literally everybody knows me as sober, and nobody's going to let me go back to that person that I was, because I'm not her anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and it was an eye-opening experience for me to see the friends that I've gained through sobriety, even though they're not sober, but just that they hold me to being that accountable that I needed to be. So that's been a really cool thing that's happened.
Yeah. So how did you get involved with the foundation?
So last year, a wild friend of mine was like, hey, I want to do this event. And so I was like, well, I can help you with it. So we go through, get it all done. And I ended up becoming the leader of it because we just had some things fall through. And so it was literally got it all back on track. It like everything happened and happened like that. And so we ended up getting at Pachuco's last year. Last year we had 6 local bands, which that was amazing. It was all some great friends of mine. And we had Leon Crosco out there, Trip Palk out there.
Trip.
Oh, Roasted Crow, Sid, which now he plays with Jesse Joe. So that's pretty cool. We had Jesse Joe out there. And Ethereal Flood, which they're not a band anymore, but they were our only female on the stage. That's pretty cool. This year it's me. Oh no, we have a female in the first band, so that's pretty cool.
Awesome.
And so we have 2. And Yavirica, so that was 3 last year. And then, but we just had it at Pachuco's, and we had 3 vendors out there. And this year we're looking at 25 vendors, and we still need vendors. Okay. So if you want to be a vendor or food truck, hit me up. And that's what we're still looking for. But that's how I got into the Straight Line Foundation, was just through that. And then we pulled that off last year amazingly. And that's, it was amazing. And they're all like, yeah, well, we should try to do it next year. And so, man, we got it going. And this year with the location change, because we're so big, that's really why we're all coming in last minute. We have to wait. God is in it, and it's in God's timing. And that's all I've had to really hold on to, because I'm like, I am so stressed out right now, guys, because everything's really come in the last week.
Yeah.
So, and we've been doing this, I've been looking for the last year, and everything has literally come in this month of May.
Oh, wow.
When the event's May 30th.
Oh, wow.
So
so this date that you've had set.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It has been the date. Because last year we had it on May 31st. Uh-huh. And it just seems to be like a decent day because people aren't doing Memorial Day. School's out, so everyone's there. And then last year we had a lot of movement from the farmers market, so they still will be there at the farmers market, so that'll be really cool to bring some more use of that land there.
Yeah So from 3 vendors to 20, what'd you say, 25?
25 right now.
Wow. Okay. So how much do you have room for? How many more are you looking for?
I think we can hold, depending on the size, we can hold probably 25 more.
Oh, wow. So y'all have the entire area.
Yeah, we have the whole area that the farmers market has.
Okay.
We're gonna have the jumper out there like the farmers market has, which my son is super excited about. He's 8. He'll be on the whole time.
Yeah.
And then just some local vendors. We're also gonna have a VIP event, which is gonna be kind of smack dab in the middle. And what that's gonna be is it's $50 a ticket, and you get a taco plate that's catered by Cowboy Cravings, Noe Portillo. Super excited to have them with us. And a swag bag and a signed poster and a meet and greet with Rich. And we're going to do kind of like talks and have some special speakers. It's going to be me with Wendy Productions. And then the kind of founder of the Straight Line Foundation here, which his name's Kevin Tyson. And then Rich. And we'll just all be talking about sobriety and, what the Straight Line Foundation actually does. And, if anybody wants to be a donator or sponsor for other events or just for the houses in general, we'll have all that information out there as well.
Yeah. So that's super cool. It sounds like it's going to be a pretty big production.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
Yes.
Right?
Super, super excited because it's just, I believe God. I can, he can do anything, but I just can't believe that this is what's in my hands. It's unbelievable, really.
Yeah. So tell me that, more about the Straight Line Foundation. Like, where do you live in one of the homes?
Okay. So we go through a lot of different people. It just kind of depends on who needs the home. So Permia Care houses, we house for them, and one of our board members is through Permia Care, works for Permia Care, and she's who really brings them in. Moving into Midland, we're trying to get with the Midland Drug Court, and which would really be where we want to be at, because people coming out that would need a place to live on, like probation wise, they could actually home with us. And we don't have any sort of healthcare program that they would have to go through. They need a week to pass a drug test and, follow the house rules, which you need to go to an AA, NA meeting every day, be sober at any time, have a job, pay our rent. And it really helps them get back into society, really, because they have the responsibility of needing to pay rent, but still the help of us, where if they can't get it or they lose their job or they have trouble finding a job, where we can help them on that. Yeah,
that support a lot.
Yes, for sure.
But I like the program. It sounds like it's empowering to them. So you said there's 4 houses and 1 in Midland, total of 36. So there's a good 6, 7, 8 in each home.
Yes, in the Midland home, it's right in so it can house 8. I don't know what they are in Odessa, but I know that our women's home, I think, can house 8 as well. And then the other 3 are probably 6 to 8.
Okay. Right. You said that the gentleman's name who set up the foundation.
Kevin Tyson.
How long has it been around?
This foundation here, I don't know how long Straight Line has actually been around, because there's a couple of different in the U.S. Okay. But the one here in Odessa, I think it started in 2021. The Straight Line Foundation in Odessa is in 2021. So that's 5 years, which, they've been doing all this by themselves. They've had one barbecue cook-off fundraiser, like a rib cook-off that they do in April, May. And that's pretty much been their only fundraising that they've had until we've done this event. So this is a really new event for the Straight Line, which is why they brought me aboard also, so that we can get some fundraisers going, and that's what we're moving to do. Try to do one. We got to do one a month to keep our income in.
Yeah.
The BAM Biz Talk podcast is brought to you by Power Funding Limited, the leader in cash flow solutions for growing businesses. If your business is waiting 30, 60, even 90 days to get paid, but your expenses can't wait, Power Funding Ltd has the solution. They specialize in invoice factoring, helping you turn unpaid invoices into immediate working capital. That means same-day funding, no startup fees, and access to up to 98% of your invoice value so you can keep your operations moving without delay. From trucking and oil field services to staffing and manufacturing, Power Funding supports businesses across industries with fast, flexible funding designed for real growth. And the best part, it's not alone. It's your money, just faster. Stop letting slow payments control your business. Take control of your cash flow today. Visit powerfundingltd.com or call 432-235-3167 to get started. Power Funding Limited, giving you the power to grow.
This episode of BAM Biz Talk is brought to you by Flash Mobile. Whether you're managing your business, chasing your dreams, or just handling life on the go, Flash Mobile gives you nationwide for GLTE coverage. No contracts and total freedom, all at a price that makes sense. Activate your plan in minutes. Bring your own device. Stay in control wherever life takes you. Contact us and make the switch today. And now let's get back to today's show.
You're able to, create events. Mm-hmm. That, because a nonprofit, they live and die on fundraising.
Right, exactly.
And your events,
and donations.
Events are a great way to get those donations in. But especially like you're providing something, right? Mm-hmm. Entertainment, getting meet and greet, a well-known artist. Mm-hmm. Great, right?
Yes.
There's all these little things that you're doing, plus just having the community coming.
Yes.
That's
been the biggest thing too. We've had, today I actually made some calls, and we had the kids jumper donated this for the event.
Awesome.
We had the porta potties donated. We had our generator lights donated. We also, had the money donated for a headliner from Alpha and Omega Leadership.
Awesome.
Laluz.
Yes.
Laluz Event Center. I'm pregnant. I can't ever remember nothing. And MDG Party Rentals is going to be doing our chairs and tables for the VIP event. And so we've just had a lot of community come behind us. And even in the vendors, not every vendor is going to ask, what's this for? Mm-hmm. But we had one vendor, and she owns a clothing company, and she is interested. She's 10 years sober as well. And so that's cool. But she wants to do a clothing line with us in partnership and for a fundraiser for us. So that's even gotten us, another fundraiser. We've had somebody reach out and say, hey, would you want to do a car show? Because that would bring people. Yeah. I was thinking, I don't think we're going to do it this year because I'm supposed to be having a baby in October. But we had thought about doing like a trunk or treat Halloween something. And maybe do some other bands that are more metal, and call it like the Crazy Straight 8 night or something. I don't know, but
some kind of play on it.
Yes, exactly. But do that somewhere around Halloween time, which would be awesome. But there's just been so many other, like I said, with the farmers market, Barbara has helped so much, and I can never thank her enough, to be honest with you. And it's just been awesome to see everyone come behind this great organization that's doing great things and helping these beautiful people who have fallen into addiction. And it can really hit anybody. Everybody, that's one thing. Everybody can be so judgmental, but it can happen to anybody, it would happen to me. I was I'm now recovered, and I had such a great support with my family that I didn't need to use something like the Straight Line Foundation, and I also didn't get caught up in it. Thank God I never got caught by, cops or something. 'Cause, I was a wild person, running around, and was in a domestically violent relationship, and life was just crazy. And that's the biggest thing that's so heartbreaking for me is I had that foundation with so many people, and a lot of people don't have that. And so many people's families have to give up on them, because you have to sometimes. And so the Straight Line Foundation is there to really be another family, to help families come back together. I've seen that. That's been quite a thing to see. Last year we had quite a few people give testimonies what the Straight Line Foundation did. And one of the girls, you know, she had been separated from her kids, and she's been given back her kids, you know, and that's just such a big thing.
That's amazing.
Like, that's just such a big thing. Why I'm so called to be here, you know, doing this, because somebody has to, for one. And, you know, I've been given the opportunity and talents from God, and just the show of life, you know, that, you know, this is where I'm supposed to be at. So, you know, I'm so blessed by it. And I think there's a lot of people that I've come in contact that are so blessed by it as well. And that's just really why my heart's for it, really. Yeah.
You know, because you've been there. You've walked it.
Yes.
When you talk about it, you're coming from a place of experience. So, you know, someone who is using, they are addicted, they recognize that, you know, because you can only really speak from a place that you've been.
Right.
You know, and then when you're speaking to somebody, they're going to recognize that, you know. So I think what you said earlier, you know, to help these beautiful people that are addicted, right? Because a lot of the times that's where the addiction really takes hold of, because they don't see themselves as beautiful people.
Right.
Right. And it's just it eats its tail. You know, it's just, it's continuous. You know, how do you break that cycle? It's one of the hardest things to do, and especially if you don't have support. Right.
You need that consistency, and that's really what Straight Line brings to the situation, you know. And, you know, I wish we had more homes for the people that, you know, and it's so sad to also see people relapse and not, it's just almost the fact that they don't love themselves, but they do. They just have to figure out, you know, how to love themselves again. Because when you're a child, unless you have, you know, which a lot of users do, a lot of addicts do, is they had a rough childhood. And so you start out as a child not even knowing how to properly love yourself, because you weren't even loved. And so it's almost like you have to take them back to that childhood almost, where, you know, no matter what anybody says, I will never go against it, but you, Jesus, in recovery. Like, you need God in recovery. And that's because he's the one that loves you. Like, he will show that love for you. And I would argue with anybody for the rest of my life on it, but you need it. And like, even just me, like, I can't even just listen to music when I'm driving. Like, I literally have it on Air 1 all the time. And that's just where God gets me. I'll be driving, because my head is the worst when I'm driving. I'll drive and something will just go on like, well, this isn't happening because of this, and this isn't happening because of this. And immediately you have to be like, no, that's not thoughts from you, you know. And like, immediately something will come on Air 1, and it's just like a word from God. Like, they'll talk about it, or a song will come on, and I'll just be crying in my car, you know, like just bawling in my car. Yeah. And it's just that love right there that people need to find, that, you know, when they're addicted, and even just people who aren't addicted and just living in the world, you know, it's such an important thing to find Jesus and find that relationship with God, you know? Yeah. And we actually have Tall City Church out there going to have a prayer tent this year, because it's something that I felt that we needed. And whether they pray for nobody, whether they just pray for the event the whole time, whether their tent's filled the entire time, you know, I'm so happy that they're going to be out there and ready to be praying for whoever needs to be prayed for, you know, and knowing that they're going to be praying for everybody that walks through that, you know. And that church is a new church. They're meeting in Lions Club right now. And the pastor is Lance Leonard. And me and Lance go way back. He was in Teen Challenge, and I knew him when I was like a teenager. I was like 15. And he'd always do music and stuff. And he got out of Teen Challenge, graduated. Now he's married, has a bundle of kids, which I'm like, I'm about to have 3, so I have no room to talk. But him and his wife, they've been for the Lord, and he's always doing music, and he's always doing worship. And whenever God had told me about the prayer tent, like, that was my first thought, was that would be Lance. And I asked him, and all he had to do was move a soccer game for one of his kids, and he was like, we'll be there. And just a cool thing that we're going to have out there too. It's just going to be a really family oriented event, and I'm super excited. My kids will be out there. Hopefully we'll have a face painter out there. But it's just going to be fun. All the music's going to be fun. So,
yeah. So this is an event. It was your stepping into Midland, because y'all are fairly well established in Odessa, right? So, and it sounds like the Midland is coming together, you know, and really like you're getting all these different expenses donated.
Yes.
Which is amazing, right?
For sure.
Because that's what takes up a lot of the capital from putting on an event.
Right.
Just burns straight through it. But if you're getting those donated, then everything you're collecting gets to go put back into the foundation. Now, what is the foundation doing with funds collected here? Are you going to buy another home, or?
That's what we're looking at. At this moment, we have kind of died down on beds being full. So we need to get into the drug court so that we can get that. And that's really the main, what we're looking at. But right now, yes, we need to be getting another home in Midland. But really the money's for, you know, if we need drug tests, if we had bed bugs, like 2 months ago. So the whole house had to be bed bug freed, and we had to find hotels for the guys. So, you know, we just have stuff that happens like that.
Yeah.
Just house expenses. We just had a dryer break. We just had to buy a new dryer. And this is for 5 houses. You have bills and all that stuff that goes on with that. And, so that's really what the money goes for. Yes, we are looking at buying it in Midland, and that is the goal for sure. And hopefully we'll have it bought by next year. But we really need to get in with the drug court, and so that we can make sure that our beds are going to be full. And that's really where it's at. Because we also, if the beds aren't full, then, you know, what are we really doing? So that's really where we're at right now. But yes, the money is needed for expenses between 5 houses and 36 people. And that's just really where it's at.
Yeah. So the drug court, you're waiting for them to approve?
So we have to be approved through them, so that they know the address has to be approved, and so that if anybody's on ankle monitor, they know where to go if they don't show up and stuff like that. And I think it's Judge Rainey over there who we're trying to get work with, and I'm pretty sure it'll follow through.
Yeah.
You know, it just takes time for all this stuff through the city, and we're very patient though. You know, we're pretty sure that that's going to be at, but it just takes time. I said earlier, everything is in God's time, and that's with everything, you know, like that's just with everything.
So the one house you do have here in Midland, it's a men's house, and you said it's 4-bedroom. So you got eight people in it right now. And how did you source those 8 people? Where'd they come from?
So one of them came from Permia Care. I think we might have had a couple from Turning Point. And so pretty much they just have to have a week of sobriety, and they pretty much get usually sent from like Turning Point or Permia Care. If somewhere else is full, then they'll call us as well. Springboard sometimes. And it just depends on the availability of the other nonprofits that do the same thing that we do. You know, that's just kind of where that's at. It just depends on the availability.
Okay.
But really you just need, you know, a week of sobriety and pass a drug test, and, you know, commit to being able to pay your rent.
Yeah.
And follow the rules. So AA meetings every day, and paying your rent, having a job. If you're on probation, you need to go to your meetings, you know, all that stuff. And we actually will provide, you know, transportation for that too, because most of these people don't have cars either.
Right.
So we transport them to wherever they need to go. And so that's probably another thing. We probably need another vehicle for the Straight Line Foundation.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just a whole bunch of stuff, you know?
It is. It's all that you have sober for a week, right? Like you just take their word for it, right? I mean, how do you?
Yeah. Well, most of the time they'll be coming out of someplace. So they will tell us if they come out of the jail, then we already know. If they're coming from Turning Point, Permia Care, then they've already been in contact with them for a length of time. And so we get that. But also whatever drug test we would need to do, you know, usually they just do a UA, you know, but whatever drug test that they would find feasible, for any of that. But yeah.
And then a lot of raising money goes towards that. So, and you're trying to build more homes, not build more homes, purchase more homes here in Midland to do that.
Yes.
So you're in expansion phase.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. How many other nonprofits like are in the same space?
I know that you have like Oxford House. They house Springboard houses, Turning Point houses. I'm not sure if Permia Care houses, but I know that they are huge here in Odessa. I had asked one of the ladies there, I said, did y'all know that y'all are doing a partnership with the Midland Farmers Market this Saturday? And they're going to have like 40 nonprofits out there. And she's like, no, but we're so big. So, but I know that they're big in this area for sure. Just like probably a handful, there's like 6 of us, a handful of us. There might be some others that are just teeny tiny because nobody knew who Straight Line was last year, And so now people are starting to know who Straight Line is because we're getting out there. And so there could be probably 10, you never know. I know like down in San Angelo, they have one down in San Angelo and they partner with us a lot. And, they actually do the Recovery in the Park come up here, and that's in Odessa. It's like sometime in September. I saw a flyer for it the other day, but I didn't see the specific dates. But usually it's like September 25th-ish, somewhere there. And so it's a 2 days, and they do Recovery in the Park over there at the park on North County Road. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think I've seen that. The flyer or something for it.
Yes, and so they do that, and that's like an event. And, but that's not for any specific sober living home. That's for, I can't remember who. But it's just events like that they have that just, is light to sobriety and shows the different nonprofits. I'm very new to this as well. And it's just amazing because I never knew that there was this community that existed either.
Yeah.
And so it's all amazing to me as well. How many sober people it's just like a stepping stone. You grow up and you get to that place where you realize, oh, these substances make things worse and it's like, that's the kind of people I want to be around, because those are the people that have been enlightened to something more than just dampening their everything with substance, and not good substance. I think my favorite thing that I've seen on Lilo and Stitch is Pleakley's like, oh, let's go to Earth. They go down there and they celebrate with celebratory poison. And I'm just like, that is so true. That's so funny. And so now somebody will be like, yeah, well, I didn't drink and now I feel good. And then they'll like, I drank and I feel horrible. I'm like, it's because it's poison. Mm-hmm. Okay, watch Lilo and Stitch and figure it out. That's my thing. I'm always like, figure it out.
The BAM Biz Talk podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, Pachuco's Restaurant. Craving authentic and eclectic cuisine in Midland? Well, Pachuco's has you covered. Located in downtown Midland at the ever-so-legendary and iconic historic building at 316 North Big Spring Street, Pachuco's blends rich and unique flavors in a conveniently pleasant and vibrant atmosphere. Enjoy the highest quality barbecue, savory tacos, burgers, and a variety of other mouth-watering dishes that reflect the spirit of a true Pachuco cuisine. Real, authentic, and just plain different. Check out their menu at www.pachucos432.com or call 432-218-8806 to inquire, or better yet, just show up and get your shine on at Pachuco's, where heritage, exquisite taste, and hospitality come together for an unforgettable dining experience. Pachuco's, Midland, Texas. Now back to the show.
The synchronicity of that, right? And I think what you're talking about earlier, you're driving in your car and then you hear a word, the radio and everyone, and it's like, okay, God's talking to me, right? Mm-hmm. But it addressed something that you were going at the moment, right? So how could a radio station know what you're going through, play you that song?
Be pinpointed, pinpointed stuff. Like I heard this Brain song the other day and it was talking about how like I'd never heard it, and it was just how like no matter what I've been through, God's called me to be his daughter. And it was like, that's the song. It was like daughter. It didn't say child, it said daughter. And I was just like, oh. I'm just like, because sobriety really is a lonely life, and but that's okay with me, Yeah. I'd rather be lonely than where I was at 4 years ago, man, because it's like, I think I'm lonely now, like thinking about how I was then. Oh my goodness. Like, that's just crazy. Like, it was two totally different people,
Yes.
It's so wild.
Yes. Because I just started reading this new book, Scott Adams, I believe. He's the creator of the Dilbert comics.
Okay.
And his book is called Reframe Your Brain. Right. And so that's one of the reframes exactly that he talked about, verbatim of what you just said.
Really?
Yeah. He said, reframe how you look at alcohol. Right. Okay. Yeah. Alcohol is a, social lubricant, or, alcohol is, put it in a positive framework. Okay. That's how alcohol, it's just what older people do, or everybody does it. Right. No, alcohol is poison. Right. So just stating that right there, he gave out a certain percentage, but it was a significant amount of people that all they needed to do was hear that for them to go sober. Now, of course, if you have rooted issues, it'll take more than that. But
if you're a musician,
if you're a musician
all the time,
it's a lot harder for sure. Yeah, creatives, we get comfortable in a little box, and then how do we get out of that? How do we get ourselves out? How do we get ourselves? Oh, well, let me have some tequila. Oh, and I'm way outside the box.
That was mine too, tequila, man. I used to keep a flask in my boot. All the people that I was in bands with was like, "You should brand that as boot-quila," because I literally used to keep a flask in my boot, and it was Juarez, the cheapest stuff. It was just like I could get a big bottle for $29.99. And I just put it in there. I was a cheap drunk for sure.
Yeah, there you go.
That's why I was drunk all the time.
No, but I think that, that's what I'm saying here, like with the synchronicity, right? And you'll hear things over and over again, right? It's cool that I heard that just this morning. And then you're here saying it verbatim, and I'm sure I'm going to hear the third time.
Right.
Yeah.
Three's the number.
Three's the number, right? What did I the other day? It's, something will happen once and it'll rarely happens again, right? You can, if something happens, like, oh, okay, that won't happen. But if it happens twice, you can guarantee it's going to happen a third time, right? So like lightning strikes, very rare, right? When it does strike, okay, probably never get struck by lightning again. But if lightning gets struck by lightning again, you got to watch it. It's coming a third time, right?
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing in the synchronicity world. But so what was it that changed your mind, that changed your life? What was the decision?
Well, from the hard drugs, because I was on, and I was actually, to be honest, I was on meth. And, I don't mind telling anybody because, 2% of people recover from that. 2%.
Wow.
I know. Wow. And I was on it for 3 years. And I was in a very, very bad relationship. I have places, he stalked me, and it was just horrible. And I wish you all the best, I hope that you find the happiness, but it was just a horrible time. And I ended up getting pregnant with my second child, and I was still using, to be honest with you. And I just got to the point where the guy that I was with, he just kept being bad. And it was really God. I ended up going home to my parents where my son was still at. And really, I just stayed in bed. I was so sick being pregnant, and I found out it was a girl. And I was like, oh my gosh, because I never wanted kids. I definitely didn't want a girl. I was so happy when my first was a boy. And I thought he was going to be my only one.
Yeah.
And so I had just stopped because I was sick. And I was just tired of chasing around this man who never wanted me. And but at the same time stalked me. It was just crazy. And that's the drug. That's not just him. That's drugs for sure. And so I ended up having Alice and delivered her. And we were both clean when I delivered her from everything. When I delivered my son, I tested positive for marijuana. So, just for her to be completely clean, that was just a thing for me. And after her, I wanted more. And I was like, I want more kids, more kids. And but it was just that. And then she only nursed. She wouldn't take a bottle. And so that was really my other thing too, because, I started thinking about, can I take Tylenol and be okay? Nursing her and, all this stuff. And she really was and my son, being able to be around my son again. My kids really were what has made me not go back. And Then alcohol was because I was tired of reading my witness, because I'm not that person anymore. I don't like to be known as an alcoholic or a drunk, because I was a wild person. I'm the only woman in most bands, and you just have to carry yourself away to not get eaten up, and just alcohol just made me a person that I didn't want to be anymore. I wanted to be respected for more than just whatever, like wanted to actually be respected and looked up on, like that I'm actually doing better. And I've done so much change, and it's just come naturally. Like I gave up meth. I, stopped smoking cigarettes and that. And then when I had started going out again after I had Alice, and when she could be by herself for a little bit with my mom, then, I got drunk and I felt like complete crap. Like I felt like I was dying, and I was like, this has to be because I'm almost 30. No, it's because your body wasn't as used to you not doing this to it anymore. And so then I stopped getting drunk, and then I'd only have a shot before me and the guys would play in. I was just like, I can't do this anymore. It just, it doesn't do anything to you at that point, and I think it's one of the things that God took away it doing anything to me, because I'm done doing it. Like, I'm done doing it. Smoking weed, I don't get stoned anymore, And so what's the point, What's the point? So, I'm pregnant again and expecting a little bambino. And his name will be Ziggy. And he's going to be born, Ziggy will. And he'll be born, his due date's October 15th. So, we're pretty on the due date. Alice was 2 days after hers. So, it'll be sometime there. Yeah. And so, everyone's so excited, though. And that'll be my third and last, because I'm like, no more. Got 3 babies. So that's nice. But that was really what it was for me, is I was just tired of it. And I've been called to ministry my entire life. I went to church. My dad was a pastor, was actually a pastor at Calvary Assembly of God here, which is a church I still attend. And, I had a little break going there from like 18 to probably like July of last year. 18 years old, so I'm 31. I turned 31, so, and I started going, that's, my son loves going to church, and my daughter loves going to church, and that's just something big for me, because, I might not have even been here. Like, my mom has the custody of my son because of drugs, and that's just how it had to be. And even in drugs, though, I still thought about him, because when, given the, when I had been using, I told my mom, like, I can't be a mom. Like, y'all have to figure out what to do. Of course, he has a great dad, but, his dad was also too, we had just broken up a few months before that. And so his dad wasn't in a position either. And so my mom took first custody, and then me and him have second shared. And, that's just what was best for him. And even in that time, like, I was like, I can't do this. Like, you need to take over. And, that was just the best. And I'm so glad that he doesn't remember me. He didn't remember me being gone. Yeah. And I was gone all the time. Like, I was there to get clothes and to go to work, because I had a job all throughout using. I had a job, I worked. And, but he didn't remember me being gone. And that is like the biggest blessing to me, is because that was like one of the biggest things I was worried about coming back in, is like, what damage did I do to him? Because Alice don't know me as anything other than the mom I've been. I was clean when I had her. I've been clean. I've been there. And, she had a completely different mom than Grady did. And so it's just been such a blessing that, God shielded him really from that. And that he doesn't remember me being gone. He doesn't remember me being wild and crazy. Like, he tells everybody he has the best mama right now. And I'm just like, oh, that's so sweet. Like, but he's 8, he'll turn 12 and be like, oh, you're a dweeb. Maybe not, though. I think I'm pretty cool. So
yeah. I think he'll be all right. Yeah. It's cool. So I really like the work you guys are doing. And, kudos to you for walking that, and then staying the course. I sense it, right? You found your purpose, right? And then you're leaning into it. Because so often as a creative, out there singing, you that's a release. Yeah. Right. You feel like I'm here, I'm home, I'm where I'm supposed to be, but then the music stops. And what? Yeah. Right. What's your purpose then? Right? You've joined a team that's on the same mission, right? And that right there, that's powerful. You know, and what you're doing is you're getting other people who are on that same path, and then you're bringing them on to help their lives. You know, and that's tremendous. So when you can impact lives, that is like a true calling. You know, how do you keep marching on that? And can you do to grow it? What can you do to bring people into that, what you're building? You know, and I think that's what you're doing here, right?
Yeah. I think you just always have to be honest with yourself. Like, you have to like know that, hey, I slipped up there, and really be honest and hold yourself accountable, because, you know, you can tell everybody anything. You can have a best friend you tell anything to, but at the same time, you're not going to tell them everything. You know, you're not going to tell them that thought that you had or that weird thing that you did. And, you know, you really have to hold yourself accountable and be like, I'm not this person anymore. I don't act anymore. That's how I would have responded in my old life. That's not how I respond in this life, you know, and because people's always going to be there to push your buttons, you know, especially people who don't know you, you know, like that's the biggest thing. You know, if anything bad comes out towards me, I know it's from somebody who doesn't know me, because people who know me now know that I'm not, you know, that I don't have problems with people, except for people who don't know me. And that's really the other thing too, is you can't let them bad days get you, even though you're going to. I mean, some days you're going to go outside and blow some bubbles, you know, go outside and get some vitamin D and get in the sun. Like the other day, I think I was having allergies, and I go out in the sun and I just had the sun on my face, and I was like, go inside and I feel fine. I'm like, I just need some sun. Like, I just, you know, nature really does so much that people, you don't realize, especially if you get in your day in, you get in the car, you work, you go into work, you get in the car, you go pick up kids, get in the car, go home, you know, like, where's the time to be outside? Like, you don't remember to do that. And then you are busy and you're chasing kids around, and, you know, this kid is throwing up over here. This kid's fighting you and being a butthole, you know, like, you know, you just have to really be on yourself and be there for that change that you need to keep yourself accountable to, or you're going to slip and you don't know if you'll come back from it, you know? Yeah. I know so many people who've stopped drinking, and then they start drinking and they're worse than they were. Yeah. Or start using, like, that relapse, that second relapse, that third relapse. It's almost unheard of for somebody to come to third relapse, you know? And that's so crazy. Like, especially with what's on the street now, you never know. Like, that was the thing that I'm so blessed of. Even when I was using, I was still protected. Like, I bought from my best friend, but I knew where the product came from. You know, I didn't have to go on the street, and I wasn't homeless. And that's a big thing too. People that are homeless and just buying off the street. Yeah. You don't know what people are putting in anything. You know, somebody could give you soda and you're going to have dysentery or something, you know, like, you have no idea. Yeah. And it's a wild life. Yeah. And we need to get everybody out of it, you know. The people that want to be out of it, people who don't want to be out of it, may God find you, you know. But the people that want to be out, we need to be there for them and show the community, you know, that they need behind them. Yeah.
I think it comes down to like what you said before, right? You had a family, right? You have a supportive family, right? So you had something to fall back on. Yeah. You know, and that's what the Straight Line Foundation offers. You know, it's a support, it's a home, literally, it's home. Yes. You know, for them to get back and recalibrate with life, you know, because you're right. Once you go back and forth a couple times, you almost push yourself into the brink of no return. Right. You know, and unfortunately, you know, at your whole system, right? It's more difficult every time. You know, but I think with support, with what you're doing, there's a pathway there, and
it's a straight line.
It's a straight line. There you go. Nice. Well, cool. Do you guys have a website, or do you have social media? Where can you find out information about
yes, you can look us up on Facebook. It's a Straight Line Foundation on Facebook. I think it's the Straight Line Foundation. Okay. And it looks like this. See that? That one. And then it's straightlinefoundation.org. And then you can find the event also on Facebook, and it's the Boyz with a Z, R, just R, back. Art and Music Fest. And then, yeah, that's where that's at on there.
Cool. Cool. Well, I'm going to leave this word for you. If you would like to say anything to people listening out there.
I would just say, well, thank you for listening, for one, and sticking with us. And just be out there looking for them people that are beautiful. Like, and, you know, just pray for them. You know, that's, you got homeless people down there by Riley's, Wall Street and Midkiff, and everybody sees them. And that is one place, you know, I used to be in Riley's every day. Riley's Bar and Grill. I was there every 4 years. And that's probably some of my biggest blessings, was just meeting some of the people that would come in off the street. And there was this one guy, he used to clean my car all the time. He would like wipe it down and do my windows, and I'd give him some money, and, you know, but he was out there, and there was this one time he was out there and somebody's car got broken into, and it was literally like the funniest thing. I think I've seen it on a movie, but he was like, yeah, I was out here standing by a car so they didn't get in it. He saw the whole thing of this other car getting broken too. And, you know, they're people too, you know, and all we have to do is just pray for them, you know, and hope that they get better, and really go into events like this that we're doing to help us help them, you know, because not everybody needs to be out there helping them, you know, like, it's not safe, but we have this safety net over here, and so help us help them. And that's,
Help us help them. I like it. Help out with the mission. Awesome. Well, Ms. Jacee, appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
And telling your story.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And for our listeners out there, get into them, follow them on social media, and check out all the cool events they'll have coming up, because y'all are going to keep having it, right?
For sure.
So super cool. All right. Well, thank you much.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We'll see you on the flip side.